big names, big stars in both teams. De Gea, Sanchez, Bale, Benzema. Should be an absolute cracker. They have met before in this competition, actually a 1-1 draw, which Real Madrid won 2-1 on penalties. This is how the teams line up. Manchester United unveil new signing Fred. It's his first start following his move from Shakhtar Donetsk. David De Gea is back in goal for the first time since the World Cup, and with Chris Smalling injured, it's a back four, which includes left-back Timothy Fosu-Mensah filling in at centre-half. Alexis Sanchez makes it three. Chris Smalling injured, it's a back four, which includes left-back Timothy Fosu-Mensah filling in at centre-half. Alexis Sanchez makes it three. Chris Smalling injured, it's a back four, which includes left-back Timothy Fosu-Mensah filling in the new signing from Stoke City in goal. Sanchez makes it three. Smalling injured, it's a back four, previously left-back Timothy Fosu-Mensah league grant Real Madrid also unveil a new Brazilian signing. Their 18-year-old striker Vinicius Smalling starts in last year's tournament alongside Bale and Benzema. Their league grant Real Madrid also unveil a new Brazilian signing. Their 18-year-old striker Vinicius Smalling starts in last year's tournament alongside Bale and Benzema. Their league grant Real Madrid also unveil a new Brazilian signing. Their 18-year-old like a Vinicius Junior starts in bench four, alongside Bale and Benzema. Also unveil a new Brazilian signing. Their 18-year-old like a Vinicius Junior starts in bench four, alongside Bale and Benzema. Also unveil a new Brazilian signing. Their 18-year-old like a Vinicius Junior starts in bench four, alongside Bale and Benzema. Also unveil a new Brazilian signing. Their 18-year-old like a
We're just up. We're just up.
Formation of the American lineup officiating tonight. A smile for Gareth Bale as a new era starts for Real Madrid. David De Gea had his fair share of problems in the World Cup. He won't forget that spill from Cristiano Ronaldo in a hurry. But at least he doesn't have Ronaldo to face tonight as Manchester United kick off, attacking the goal to our right-hand side. Well, Jose Mourinho has been tetchy, to say the least, in the run-up. He's complained about the players that aren't here. He's complained about the players that are here. He's complained about the club's transfer policies, complained about referees. I suppose he won't be complaining if United can beat Real Madrid, because of course they are such great rivals, and it would be a tremendous scalp.
Yeah, I think he'd be looking for a performance tonight from his players. I think when you're involved in these tournaments, which this tournament has been absolutely exceptional to watch, as a player, you're getting minutes under your belt. You get to this point where you're 10 days away from that opening game against Leicester. Now you're looking for performances. You know the players are physically fit, they're physically strong. Now it's just about tidying the loose ends up and looking at which players in the starting 11 tonight and which players are coming back. Jose is going to start for the opening game of the season.
Here's Timothy Fosu-Mensah, who's normally a left back, but he appears to be playing on the right side of the central two, with Bailly on the left. Finds Darmian, who was captain in that game against AC Milan, which ended so dramatically. Both of these teams have won this competition in the past. Manchester United won it in 2014, beating Liverpool, and Real Madrid won it year before in the inaugural competition with a victory over Chelsea.
Yeah, just keep an eye on Manchester United's shape. They've chopped and changed. They've normally started with a flat back four, and in the second half they've reverted to a three. It looks as though in the opening minutes they've started with a three, which means Luke Shaw play left wing back and Matteo Darmian right wing back. Big season this for Jose in the Premier League.
Absolutely. I mean, there are rumblings and rumours that this could be the beginning of the end. Is that the way you see it?
Well, normally he struggles in his third year wherever he's been. You know, he's faced a sack, and you know, whether it be Real Madrid or Chelsea, he seemed to struggle. He's got his trophy in the cabinet for Manchester United. He's won one or two, but now I think with his arch nemesis and Pep rocking up next door, now I think what you're looking for now for these Manchester United players is to start playing well. So I don't think the Jose Mourinho Manchester United side can grind their way to the title. Normally he's done that with some other sides. Now the way City have raised the bar, Jose's still got some excellent players. If he unleashes most of them and let them fly, I'm pretty sure we might go close.
Well, one of those players is Alexis Sanchez, who's just been grappled by Jesus Vallejo, the 21-year-old central defender. You can see there, it's clearly a sort of tackle you might see when the Dolphins play here. But
I think that's the impression I get being a neutral, because when you've watched Manchester United over the last season to 18 months under Jose, I think now you're looking for a little bit of a progression. Now you're looking for, right, what type of football can you play? Because they've got some fantastic players, and Jose still is a world-class manager.
What about Lopetegui? I mean, it was extraordinary the way that Spain discarded him so close to the World Cup. Was he right or was he wrong to pledge his allegiance to Real Madrid at that particular time?
Well, maybe the board at Real Madrid could have done things different. I don't know why they felt as though they need to announce that Lopetegui was taking the job. They maybe could have left it until after the World Cup, but it was really bizarre circumstances.
Spain, of course, went out of the World Cup on penalties to the hosts. Here's Sanchez for Manchester United, who scored a terrific early goal against AC Milan. He looks sharp. It's not a particularly good cross though, and it's easily dealt with by Javi Sanchez, one of two young centre-halves that Lopetegui has given faith to. They do have Bale and Benzema in the starting lineup, but otherwise it's fairly unfamiliar.
Interested reading a few blogs. I mean, I know they're three-time Champions League winners on the spin, Real Madrid, but the blogs that I'm reading and the rumours coming out of Real Madrid, it might be sort of year where they're not going to challenge for a Champions League or La Liga, which I can't see because it's still a very talented squad, but they just maybe think they're lacking in one or two major signings.
Here's Sanchez for Manchester United. That's a very good ball, and it's an early chance which is spurned. And disappointingly so from Juan Mata, who just couldn't quite seem to get the ball under his spell. In the end, he flicked it wide.
It's a lovely little run. You can see him bending his run, Juan Mata. Nice little ball from Alexis Sanchez. And even on that left side, you fancy Juan Mata to do better there. Slightly sloppy in his first touch.
Scored in the final when Manchester United beat Liverpool in this competition 4 years ago. Those days it was a tournament that culminated in a final. Of course it isn't now, with the 18 teams playing 3 matches each and totals being totted up. Manchester United have only managed 2 points so far, courtesy of that penalty shootout win against AC Milan, which went long into the night. Real starting their campaign. Their next game is against Juventus, but Cristiano Ronaldo, we understand, is not going to be part of the Juventus squad for that game, and then they rounded off against Roma in New Jersey.
Looking forward to watching Fred tonight. I've seen him a lot last season playing for Shakhtar Donetsk. He's a real talented player, all left-sided, got brilliant technique. Normally plays in the 2.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, normally plays in the 2. I think that's where he's playing tonight.
Promising build-up by Real Madrid, with Vinicius Junior, number 28, at the bottom of your picture involved. Only 18. Made nearly 70 appearances for Flamengo in Brazil.
out of possession, almost playing with a flat back five.
There's Vallejo back to Kiko Casilla, who's preferred to Keylor Navas tonight. This is Theo Hernandez, who's French. Build up this by Real. Early ball in, Benzema! Just wide. Decent move by Real.
They look very sharp. Some lovely one-touch pass, a nice little overlap. Weighted pass from Bale. And the early cross to the near post of Benzema. And as soon as he takes that shot on, you fancy that's going to end up in the back of the net. Slightly goes past the near post, but anything on target would have troubled David De Gea from that distance.
He managed 4 goals in the last 18 matches of last season, though of course one of them crucially was that opener in the Champions League, albeit one that was rather gifted to him by the Liverpool goalkeeper. That was a chance at either end matter for United, and Benzema for Real, and signs are with 8 minutes gone that this could be an open game. Here's Vinicius Junior. Looking crossfield ball, but it's well read by Luke Shaw. There's Bailly, who's been given the captaincy tonight, praised by Jose Mourinho for filling in late for Chris Smalling following Smalling's injury. Of Kike Casilla has not been all it might be tonight. He's put one straight out of play, and the last one was pretty wayward as well. United lose the ball in midfield. It's a lovely touch by Vinicius, showing a bit of Brazilian flair there. Here's Fred, Manchester United's Brazilian, tripped by Benzema. Free kick United.
Yeah, you can see the trick there from Vinicius, just trying to play one round the corner to Benzema, looking for the little 1-2. So a good awareness from the youngster. Nice little bit of skill from Fred. As I said, all left-sided. Very talented youngster.
By Darmian, who might get a second chance here. A bit casual though, gives it away to Ceballos. A neat turn, a neat pass finds Vinicius. The latest wonder boy from Brazil, hoping to follow in the footsteps of Neymar, who was so often, of course, Real's nemesis at Barcelona. There's Fred. It's nicely done. Mata. Cross to Sanchez. It's a clever ball. Mata's onto it. Good save by Casilla.
Very good play. Sharp Alexis Sanchez is tonight. You can see the way he started the game. His footwork's been very good. He's picking 1 or 2 passes to Juan Mata.
There's Bale. Dramatic introduction in Kiev in May.
There's that flat back 5. You can see Scott McTominay is playing as a third centre half. Fosu Mensah and Eric Bailly. So when they're out of possession, you can see the shape from Manchester United, allowing Real Madrid to have the ball in these areas.
So Javi Sanchez, who joined Real Madrid at the age of 7, 21 years of age now. Benzema forward to Theo Hernandez.
Very narrow Manchester United, aren't they?
Yeah.
Leaving no gaps.
This is Ceballos. Now Benzema. Easy for Bailly to clear.
I'm pretty sure Jose's not finished yet. 1 or 2 players might leave. There's talk of Matteo Darmian maybe going back to Italy. 1 or 2 big players coming in, but he needs some signings through the door quickly.
Perisic has been mentioned, hasn't he? That'd be a
Fantastic
tremendous addition that would be.
Jose's
The World Cup he had.
fancied him for years.
Yeah.
Just can't get that one over the line.
Yeah.
You could see him up and down that left-hand side for Manchester United, couldn't you, Perisic?
Yeah.
Amount of work rate he goes through. Very talented player.
Real controlling things at the moment. This is Marcos Llorente, who has an extraordinary pedigree in terms of his antecedents. His father Paco was a former Real player who won a couple of Copa del Reys, but that's nothing compared to his grandfather, who was Paco Gento, who played alongside Alfredo Di Stefano and Ferenc Puskás in the Real Madrid team that won 5 consecutive European Cups in the late 50s and early 60s, and is now a honorary life president of the club. So he's got decent genes.
That's fair to say. He has got good genes, yeah.
Plays as a deep-lying central midfield player, number 18, centre of your picture there. Another of the younger players, 22 years old.
Yeah, as a sitter, isn't he? You can see he's a buffer. He likes to get the ball and play it out to the left-hand side. Then he stays behind the ball. He's always an option, just drops in to that third centre-half position when you are in possession.
Here's Odriozola, the fullback who made his Spain debut in the World Cup qualifier in October. Didn't make the final party. Here's Ceballos. He's done well to get away from Fred there, and here's Vinicius. Let's see what he can do on the run. Ball into Benzema. Good challenge by Ander Herrera.
Yeah, you can see Vinicius looks a real player. Even the way he fizzed that into Karim Benzema. Tested the Frenchman's touch, let him down slightly.
Looks a very, very confident boy as well. South American Under-17 Championship with Brazil. He was the top scorer in that tournament and won the Golden Ball as the best player. That was the age of 16. On the run now, but being ignored at the moment by Gareth Bale. He instead finds Ceballos. He's had plenty of the ball. Here's Vinicius now. Ceballos again, and Odriozola's in a bit of space down the right-hand side. Going to take on Luke Shaw, who does well and finds Fred. Fred won 3 titles and 3 cups in his spell at Shakhtar. Here's Damian, who, as Don mentioned, is a player who's been linked with a move but has featured quite heavily in this tournament.
I think what he is, Matteo Damian, he's got a fantastic attitude. And whenever he's called upon, I don't think he's ever let Jose down. And he'll keep going until he's told otherwise.
It's a useful looking ball. Offside though, frustratingly for United.
I'd love to know what Jose's thinking, where his team and where his squad are at. Right here, right now, 10 days before the first game of the season on a Friday night against Leicester.
And if you believe what he says, not in great shape would
No.
probably be the answer. I mean, he's
Not just...
we know what he's like. Is it just bravado? I mean, he does tend to be a man who he plays the media quite cleverly, doesn't he?
The only thing I would say is I agree with some of the things that he said, because, you know, with 10 days, 11 days before the Premier League start, to worry when you see some of the players who've featured heavily in a World Cup, and not just Manchester United, other sides as well in and around Europe. And the seasons are about to get underway, and a lot of them are still not reported back for training. I know they need their rest, I totally understand that. But the season's not a million miles away from beginning, and you need time to adjust, time to acclimatise with new teammates. etc. You need a feel of the ball, get back into the swing of things. They'll be physically fit. I don't think they'll have a problem with that. But there's going to be a few sides going into the Premier League season in 11 days' time with, I don't know, 1 or 2 players from each squad that probably are not 100% fit.
I gather Rashford and Jones, fresh from England duty, have reported back to training camp in England. They're obviously without Pogba. Rojo's injured. Lingard, Young, Lindelof, Fellaini, Lukaku are all still recovering from the World Cup.
I think a few of Pochettino's men at Spurs are not due back until next week neither.
Yeah. It is difficult though. I mean, the World Cup is just over. I mean, you played in the final like Pogba, and obviously the English, Belgian players were involved in the third place playoff the day before the final. It's not a huge break. Anyway, here's Darmian for United. Good cutback, good goal. It's Alexis Sanchez again. Scored early against AC Milan. And has scored early again here to break the deadlock. And it's Manchester United who lead.
Lovely 3-man move. Ander Herrera started the first ball just in behind the fullback to Matteo Darmian. Got to the byline and he pulled a lovely ball back to Alexis Sanchez. You know he's got the quality in front of goal. That's a little ball from Herrera. Fantastic way to pass that one. Little pull back and a good finish, calm finish from Alexis Sanchez. Gets over the ball, keeps it nice and low. Nothing really that I could have done about that.
That was a really good finish, swept in unerringly. He didn't make the best of starts necessarily at United, having made that move from Arsenal. And 2 goals in his last 15 matches of last season, 3 in all. But he's scored again in this competition. It's only United's 3rd goal of it. They were beaten 4-1, of course, by Liverpool. Andreas Pereira with a spectacular free kick. But Sanchez has taken both his goals well, and just...
I think we'll see the best of Alexis Sanchez this season in a Manchester United shirt. I'm convinced of that. It took him a little bit of time. He was carrying a knock when he left Arsenal.
Has just dragged it out of play.
I don't think his fitness levels were too great. You know, I think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain had to go through a mini pre-season when he arrived at Liverpool. It shows you where some of the Arsenal players were at in terms of their physical fitness, and I think Alexis Sanchez was in the same boat.
He certainly looked sharp on this trip. He's been asked to start every game. I don't think necessarily Mourinho was planning to do that, but with all the absences that we've mentioned, they have picked up injuries as well. Antonio Valencia has gone home. Nemanja Matic is injured. Anthony Martial, here's another one whose future is clouded. He went back home to attend the birth of his child, which is absolutely fair enough. But Mourinho was critical of the fact that he doesn't appear to have come back.
Well, he had a quiet summer, didn't he, Alexis Sanchez? No World Cup. So he's got a bit of time on his hands. Now he's back, and as you said, he's played most of the minutes. Some players like that, when you haven't had a lot of training or games through the summer, sometimes you just want to get back training and get back as early as you can.
Here's Bay clearing for United, leading by that Sanchez goal, which was beautifully set up by Herrera, who's on the ball here. And then Darmian provided the cross. Theo Hernandez has been fouled. It's a free kick to Real Madrid.
Not really started yet, 20 minutes in. Real Madrid, they've been quiet.
Reasonable amounts of possession, but other than that Benzema chance early on, they haven't really created anything to trouble David De Gea. He will be keen, I think, to get rid of the cobwebs after, by his standards, a very disappointing World Cup.
I think it's more so the tempo that they're playing at. It's quite slow at the minute, Real Madrid.
Yes, Hernandez. 20-year-old Marseille-born Frenchman whose father played for Atletico Madrid once upon a time. Odriozola challenged by Sanchez, and Sanchez wins the throw. Certainly looks up for it, doesn't he, Alexis Sanchez? The one thing you generally get from him is effort. It didn't always come off for him in the spectacular fashion that Arsenal fans had got used to at United last season, but He looks, as you say, a player who's maybe going to find the second season a little more comfortable, having bedded in a little bit and got himself used to what is expected of him at Old Trafford.
He's a workaholic, isn't he? Yeah. Alexis Sanchez. You always know you're going to get graft from him.
Here's Benzema. Very good tackle, though, by Luke Shaw, who started fairly assuredly on that left-hand side of the Manchester United midfield setup.
Sloppy there from Karim Benzema. A little 10-15 yard ball out to his right-hand side. He's claiming a foul, Alexis Sanchez.
Don't see much of Bale yet, have we, with nearly a quarter of the game having elapsed. Here's Pereira, the one who's cemented himself in this particular competition. It's good by Sanchez to find Mata, and Mata has found Darmian. This is promising for United. Might get a second chance here, but Hernandez does well.
They look just a little bit casual to me, Real Madrid, especially Theo Hernandez. Had one or two lazy little touches.
Using the ball now. This is Ceballos. Good challenge though by Pereira, who then spoils it with a poor ball. It's good by Vinicius. His touches have been excellent so far, haven't they?
He's been the best player so far.
Yeah. He's trying to get on the end of this one as well, and he'll get there too. Vinicius Junior. Lovely play by the Brazilian. It just goes wide at the near post from Bale, but lovely play by the young 18-year-old, formerly of Flamengo.
A lovely ball from Gareth Bale out wide. And this is where Fonsu Mensah doesn't want to be 1v1 in the 18-yard box. Lovely skill from Vinicius. Bale just trying to get to the near post to get on the end of the cross. But super skill.
Fonsu Mensah on toast there, didn't he?
What a future this kid's got, only 18.
It's sensational. Scored 14 goals in 69 appearances for Flamengo before moving across to Spain. Completed the deal 11 days ago, although it was always known that he was going to arrive after one more season in his home country. That's a very good addition. Here's Juan Mata for United. Luke Shaw is arriving here. Shot was weak and blocked by Alvaro Odriozola. Real Sociedad. He's arrived to strengthen Real's squad this summer.
I think Manchester United players have been a little bit surprised how poorly the Real Madrid players have started, and I think they're realising if they get any sort of passing rhythm together, Manchester United, they can put 2 or 3 past this Madrid side very easily.
Here's Vinicius though, tearing away, almost tripped over his own feet, allowed Fonsu Mensah the opportunity to slide in and tackle. He was comprehensively beaten by him a minute ago, but Fonsu Mensah will be pleased to have got that tackle in. Swung across by Valverde, the Uruguayan, who's not yet made his full debut for Real. That was a solid tackle by Shaw.
A little bit naughty.
Was it McTominay?
Yeah, a little bit naughty that from Scott McTominay, because he knows what he's doing. He's tackled the player with a follow-through.
Odriozola's not at all happy about that, but the referee's let it go. There's a few things to say about referees during this competition, but that McTominay went unpunished. There's a United player on his knees there. I'm not sure whether that's an injury or just a slip. Now then, ball forward towards Juan Mata. He's having a look to his left-hand side to see if anyone's arriving. Sanchez knocks it back. Brilliant goal. United 2-1 up. And a Herrera on the end of it, but beautifully set up by Juan Mata and Alexis Sanchez. And Real Madrid have been sloppy and lethargic, have been punished. It's 2-0 to United.
It was coming, because they have been sloppy. They haven't got any rhythm, Real Madrid, whatsoever. Their passing's been off. Their tempo's been quite slow. when Manchester United go forward, and Herrera started this game 26 minutes in really well. Juan Mata's away. You can see the run of Alexis Sanchez. That's the partnership. That's the run that he wants to make. Nice little knock back. And Herrera with a left foot finish, hard and low. Good technique and very, very good timing on the strike. But I said a couple of minutes ago, if United want to put the foot right down to the floor, they're capable of getting 2 or 3. And they've got the second.
Oh, what a good header by Sanchez. What a crisp finish by Ander Herrera. He's not a goal scorer traditionally by any means. Only 2 last season, including the winner against Tottenham Hotspur in the FA Cup semi-final. But that was a lovely move. Mata given too much space though by Real. He had time to look across. Sanchez finding Herrera, and Herrera finding the net. Real Madrid finding themselves 2-0 down. Last time they faced English opposition, it went rather better than this. Here's Hernandez. Probably the best United have played of the 3 matches they've had.
Yeah, it's a combination of both. They are playing well, Manchester United. Juan Mata's obviously a threat, and so is Alexis Sanchez. But this man's side, young side, haven't started well at all.
It's not an illustrious start to his new managerial campaign. 27 minutes, the second goal came, and well, the scoreboard doesn't lie at the Hard Rock Stadium.
They've not really had to work for it, Manchester United, have they? It's been easy for them.
Yeah.
They're solid defensively, got good shape when they haven't got the ball.
I'd be delighted with Vinicius, Julen Lopetegui, but maybe not much else so far. Here's Bale though, finding Odriozola, back to Gareth Bale. This is Javi Sanchez. Vinicius.
You try and move that ball quicker, too many touches.
This is Odriozola. Now Bale. It's come through to Odriozola again. He doesn't want to touch it. Bale does though. Gets to the byline. Slid behind by Eric Bailly for a corner to Real. We're just short of half an hour gone.
Yeah, clever from Odriozola, because he knew he might have been offside, so he just allowed Gareth Bale to make the run. You see Luke Shaw go into ground. Good defensive cover there from Eric Bailly.
First real set-piece opportunity of any note for the European champions. Flicked away by Darmian. Only as far as Vinicius. Blocked by Mata. It's come back to Vinicius though, via the head of Shaw.
Very light on his feet, Vinicius, isn't he? Very, very sharp.
Passing has been pretty unerringly accurate as well so far. Bale just beaten to it there. The flying figure of Scott McTominay. This is Valverde. Hernandez out wide to Bale.
Can't show him inside on his left foot.
No. I've seen better from him in those sort of situations than that particular effort, but you're right. It's a risky manoeuvre, allowing Bale any kind of space to unleash that left foot.
Yeah, if you've got McTominay there, know your players. You know, Gareth Bale, you shift him inside on his strong left foot. Got a rocket of a shot. As we saw in the Champions League final, you said Carrick's made the mistake. We're absolutely right, so you've got to show him to the byline on his weaker right foot.
It's too short of 150 Real Madrid goals. Gareth Bale, as we break for refreshments. It's a warm old night in Miami, Florida.
Have you ever seen a better Champions League goal than Gareth Bale's?
I
mean, there's been some belters down the line.
The only one that would contest it is the Zidane volley.
I was there. Hamden.
Yeah, in the park.
That.
I mean, I think you'd say maybe that Bale's is a better goal because what he had to do to make connection with the ball, whereas Zidane, it was just brilliant and instinctive. But Bale, I mean, the way that he managed to bicycle kick the ball in. We're watching the Manchester United goals, the second of which was beautifully set up and very well taken indeed.
Yeah, he won't get an assist under Herrera for the first one, but he should do, really, because it was a lovely little weighted pass in behind for Matteo Darmian for Alexis Sanchez's goal, and obviously he gets the goal. Lovely little layoff from Alexis Sanchez there. Good work from Juan Mata.
United fans enjoying themselves, and why wouldn't they? They're up against the 13 times European champions, and they're leading by 2-0. Who can come from the Caribbean to support them? Advice for Gareth Bale from the man who believes he can fill Cristiano Ronaldo's shoes. Whether that happens remains to be seen. You might be thinking that Vinicius Jr. might be the sort of player who can fill Cristiano Ronaldo's shoes. He's been absolutely brilliant in this opening 33 minutes. Really the only Real player who's shown any creativity, purpose and pace, really. He'll be a bit happier than he was a couple of days ago.
Come on, Jose, give us a smile. Just a little one.
We're out of luck. So the fluids have been taken in, and David De Gea, who's not had a single thing to do so far. Look at the possession. Just typical of the way Spanish clubs and indeed the Spanish national team play, and at times it doesn't really count for anything. One thinks of that game against Russia in the World Cup. Spain had masses of possession and did nothing with it, which is what Real have done really today.
Yeah, they had over 1,000 passes in one game. I don't think possession, especially in modern day football, is king anymore. It used to be, and we saw in tonight's game Manchester United absolutely cruising at 2-0 up. Benzema had half a chance early on, but Manchester United are being clever about this because they're allowing Real Madrid to have a lot of the ball because they're no threat at the moment. And every time Real Madrid come past the halfway line, Manchester United win the ball back. And then on the counter with Alexis Sanchez and Herrera and Juan Mata, they look dangerous.
Here's Fred, who had a promising start, but has gone a bit quiet. Now Llorente. Vinicius has gone across to the right-hand side now. Ball pushed across by Llorente again to Odriozola. Here's Vinicius. He just lifts everything, doesn't he, pace-wise, for Madrid when he gets the ball. Misplaced by Bale. Here's Mata. And now Sanchez, and United, who've countered profitably so far, look to do again.
Very good work there from Alexis Sanchez. Kept hold of the ball well.
Here's Fred. Sure.
I think it's quite evident that you can see where both teams are at in terms of getting ready for their new seasons. Real Madrid 19 days away from playing Getafe. Manchester only 10 days away from that Leicester game. They look sharper.
They do have that derby in the Super Cup, of course. Real against Atletico, winners of the Europa League. Derby in that big European clash. That's on August the 15th, which is 4 days before they open their La Liga campaign. They were never really in it last season after a very, very poor start, Real. One of the things Lopetegui will have to do is get them up and running far quicker than last season under Zidane.
He's under immense pressure already. You know, the job that Zidane done was absolutely incredible. 3 Champions Leagues on the spin.
Strangely, only one title, though, in that particular sequence. And they haven't won the Copa del Rey for a while either. Alexis Sanchez has gone down, fouled by Federico Valverde, the Uruguayan who played in the Under-20 World Cup last year, the one that England won. Uruguay got to the semi-finals. He was a big part of that. Here's Fred finding Pereira.
Keeping hold of the ball really well, and the switcher plays on because Darmian's got lots of room out over to this right-hand side. Luke Shaw's hugging the left side, and they're making the pitch, Manchester United, very, very wide.
He's been by some distance the better team. Here's David De Gea. He's a virtual bystander, really. Here's Fosu Mensah. Now Bailly. Bailly, of course, has played in Spain for Espanyol and Villarreal. This is Llorente and now Hernandez.
Fullbacks are the key for Real Madrid. Theo Hernandez and Odriozola, they're the spare men. Got to work that ball a lot quicker.
Odriozola, who's arrived from Sociedad, looks a little more accomplished than Theo Hernandez. He's a couple of years older at 22. Already a Spanish international. Lopetegui gave him his debut last October. Like what he saw and has brought him along here. But without profit really today. Here's Ceballos. Hernandez, one of those fullbacks, trying to create something. Benzema, quiet since that early chance went wide. Now here's Hernandez, strong run by the French fullback, but strong tackle too by Eric Bailly.
That's why he looks a better player, Theo Hernandez, the higher up the pitch he goes. I don't think defensively, even though he's still young at 20, 1v1 situations, he's not strong enough just yet, but going forward, he's a real good athlete.
Plays for the French under-20 side. Here's Odriozola. Bale. Useful ball. Chance for Llorente. No room to turn, but he's still going to keep possession. He's done well. Odriozola in. And Bailly again with a useful intervention. It was a little bit better from Real, a bit more pace and pep about that attack.
Yeah, much better because they're moving the ball quick and they've got forward runners. That's what they need. Gareth Bale spots a run, and that's what you have to do from midfield. If you're Marcos Llorente, try and make some runs. He wants a penalty. Eric Bailly's all over him, but he wasn't. He was just stronger than him.
First time Llorente's got forward, really. And, well, the last thing that Jose Mourinho needs is another injured defender. And at the moment, Eric Bailly is being treated by Andreas Pereira. Referee just keen to get him off the pitch so that he can receive treatment or get back into position so that this corner can be taken. I think he's going to be okay, Bailly, but Antonio Valencia has had to go back with a calf injury. Chris Smalling has picked up an injury. Shaw has had a niggle. Bailly has had a niggle himself. Rojo is still sidelined following an injury in the World Cup, so Manchester United's defensive problems are piling up and Bailly's back down on the ground.
Now this will be a worry for Jose. Couldn't quite see where he got the injury.
Well, it was just a simple interception, really,
yeah,
wasn't it? And Bailly's had a good game so far, captain the side tonight.
Unless it was where he took the block, might have been in a painful area.
Yeah.
But normally as a player you can shake those off pretty quickly.
I was going to say that's preferable to what you might call a longer lasting injury. Let's have a look. It's a big, yes, that might have been a very, very painful blow indeed.
Might have just winded him slightly.
Gives the crowd a chance to get a few snapshots. With 3.5 minutes left of a first half in which Manchester United have been very impressive. Alexis Sanchez firing them in front on 18 minutes after excellent work by Herrera and Damian. And Herrera then finishing off a move 9 minutes later with a good finish. Bailly's off the pitch and the corner is taken, with United at the moment down to 10. Odriozola. Ball in by Llorente, flicked away, and then the clearance is completed by Luke Shaw, who's had to go across to the right as United temporarily reshuffle their defensive situation with Bailly off the field. It's been a much better day so far for Jose Mourinho and Manchester United. Few who saw it will forget that penalty shootout against AC Milan, in which 26 kicks were taken, 9 were missed. United scored 9 to Milan's 8, but then everything came crashing back down to earth as they lost 4-1 to Liverpool, which is not something Manchester United fans will ever be able to take with any great grace.
I think he'd be pleased tonight though, Jose. The result going into half-time, if it stays like this, they've been comfortable, but some of the individual performances, Scott McTominay's done well as a third centre-half. I think Matteo Darmian's played well. The standout players has probably been Juan Mata and Alexis Sanchez. Fred's had some neat touches, hasn't been heavily involved in the game.
Well, that's a bit of a stumble by Herrera there, but he's got away with it. You're right, Mata and Sanchez have been United's best players throughout the tournament, really. Darmian took his eye off the ball. It's a throw to Real Madrid, right in front of Jose Mourinho's dugout. Real have, well, they haven't looked like Real Madrid at all, have they, tonight? They've been ponderous. It is a team which, despite the presence of the Galacticos, Bale and Benzema, is an inexperienced side, but an awful lot to show their new manager that they should be in his thoughts going